So I think I'm gonna take it. Besides, like I never feel comfortable, and I know like I had this conversation with Tam the other day because I was like, I don't think I would be the best Mikasa 4 or the best Deku in the room, and I think that is like full stop. I think Corey has so many hours in Deku, and I think there are enough people who are better at blind draw based aggro like Mikasa. That being said, Tam always goes like, "Oh, you don't have to be the best one. You just have to find like the best bracket," and that's not untrue. But I never feel comfortable unless I feel like I'm in like with Hanji. I felt like I was probably in the top 2 or 3 Hanji players in the room at any event I took her, and I pretty much need the same thing with Smiling Titan. I felt like I was a top 2 or 3 Smiling Titan. I kind of need to feel in that position to feel comfortable at a tournament.
Man, I mean, at the end of the day, like if there's 64 entrants, you have less than 2% equity when you walk in the room, right? Yeah. And if you can buy some more equity by being like really confident that you're like outplaying the metagame, that's awesome. If you can outskill the metagame, that's awesome. But like, you're never gonna buy more than 30% to win the tournament is an incredible rate. Like that's actually
you're if you get your true probability up to like 5%, you're doing extremely well. Right.
It's hard to win tournaments basically, and so like at some level you just have to get lucky.
That is where I do wish I was playing in the, because I think like I've always said like getting a character card is such a cool prize. It's a thing I want. I miss that. I'm sad I did not play in the era where there were like 3 or 4 character cards a year. It's a little better now that we have the backup cards, and I think those are going to be really cool. I'm very glad we're doing those surprising.
I will tell you, like I won my first card in a like 23-person tournament or something.
Yeah, and then I went it was memorably 21 because 2 people went to D&D the next day, and that's why the team's card didn't happen because they had a limit of 20.
Wow.
And that's how the like round robin 6-0 and 1 like combined record undefeated aside from one player had 1 draw and 1 in 1 match didn't get a card.
That's wild.
Cool. But what were you saying, Broberg?
Yeah, but I remember I went to an Atlanta PDC later, I think the next year, and I won that one. People were like, okay, like this is 50 people with probably actually like
you won like
higher density of talent.
A more real event.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah, that's the thing.
And the funny thing about all the 20-person event, a lot of them, including the Canadian one, had like the top cuts that people had to get through, and like the top tables in Swiss were pretty stacked, right? It's because 20 people travel those events. It's 20 of the best. It's 5 locals and then 15 of the best 30 people in the world, right?
I think my top 8 brackets when Kevin won was Diet Kevin, who was a very good player on Natali, Andrew, Alexa, and Garrett Brad.
So, oh sure, it's just like if you think that you are a good enough player, because I think like the top players generally have like most of them have like a 5% chance to win a given tournament, probably close to that, a regional, anything like that. If you have 4 character cards a year, that means it's going to take you 5 years to get a character card. If you have 1 character card a year, that means your average probability is like 20 years to get a character card. And I'd like to get a character card before I'm 46 years old.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see if they might. It's hard because you want they've done pretty good at having like lots of other robust prizing for Worlds beyond just the character card. So maybe they could get away with having a character card only as the only prize kind of event somewhere in the year. But I think they at least want to be nice and caught up with all the back stuff before they would even contemplate that.
How many more of those do they have, by the way? How many more of those do they have to be caught up with?
So obviously Kevin's Dan Hughes we haven't seen yet.
Yep.
And I think that's all I know off the top of my head.
There's a second Mark Tyner. There's a second Mark Tyner that's
right. There's a second Mark Tyner. Are there any more team assets? Or are we all caught up on those?
Probably. Teams is a lot harder to keep track of.
That's true. Fair enough.
All right. It looks like we got a pretty good viewer count, and we're hitting the 9-minute mark. So if you guys are good, I think we're going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to 4Checks Cast. We are your 4Checks, here to give you everything going on in the world of universes. And there's not been a ton of new major news. So we're taking this week to kind of have a bit of a fun week with things. Because there were 2 things that came out last week that we thought would be entertaining to analyze and respond to. We're going to start off with the first one, which is the combo article. So after every new set, they've been doing these combo articles. And we had a lot of fun with, I forget which set it was that we did a combo article.
It was Turtles.
Yeah, TMNT.
Did they do one for Guilty Gear?
They might not have done one for Guilty Gear. Maybe because it was a smaller set.
They have been doing them, but I don't think it's been consistent.
Yeah. We had a lot of fun, the TMNT one, and kind of riffing on what they chose as like cool combos, and finding some legitimately cool ones there. So we said we were going to react to it again. And what better way to react to a thing like this than a tier list? So we have put all of the combos in the tier list. I have chosen the most important card in each combo as kind of like the signal for that card. We have 5 tiers. Going from top to bottom, the tiers are Real AF Combo. That is a combo that I think could reasonably show up in a major setting. Locals Legend, a one that's going to be a lot of fun to play at your locals. You might go 2-2 or 3-1, but you probably aren't going to take it to a major. That's cute. This is just one, like, when you're playing the game, someone does a move and you're like, oh, that's cute that you can do that. But it probably gets cut from even like your locals deck in practice. Learning Tool. I need to add an L to that.
I was like, there's no L there. It's like, what is Learning
I was just referencing Hero 2 format. No,
Clearly.
Learning Tool. It's not really like a combo that you would think is super strategic for a deck or like doing something cool, but it's like something that is a good description to teach someone to think about the game.
Sure. Yeah, if a beginner said, hey, is this like I noticed, does this work? And I'm like, yeah, great job, you found it.
Yes. And then finally, what were they thinking? This is not an interesting combo, and it's not a good combo. This is just a thing that like maybe you're throwing at the kitchen table, if that. If I had a locals tell me they were doing that, I'd be like, stop playing that combo.
Or they say like, is it a combo if I like put +4 damage on my attack? It's like,
no.
That's what the card does.
Yeah. Is it like if you're combo, if I play a 3-diff that I would never play otherwise, just to give 1 attack in my deck -1 difficulty when it's already cheap?
It's like technically it's a combination of cards working together, but that doesn't necessarily make it reasonable.
I played a 4-4 into another 4-4 combo.
Yeah, I did it.
So let's go ahead and get into it. I wanted to shout out the author of this article, but I don't think they posted who wrote this, unfortunately.
That is weird.
Yeah, no byline.
So if it is Barrett or J Ray, thank you guys for making these. We do, kidding aside, like genuinely love these articles, even if we're riffing on them a bit. And I think they are good tools for newer players. I play a punch in the Valiant Assault combo.
Technically, yes.
Oh, true.
That would go with Learning Tool. No.
Yeah, combo keyword.
I was talking about a 14-year-old Valiant Assault playing another Discord earlier.
So we're gonna start with the top one here. I'm just gonna read these because I actually like the flavor that they put for all of these.
Yeah, I'm gonna make one point. There are 15 of these.
Yeah, we'll read quickly.
So we can.
Yeah. Let's not spend 20 minutes on each one like we did last time.
No, that will be a 2-hour stream. Team Heroes Captain Shunei loves filling up his card pool to get the most out of his damage bonus in hands. A great way to do that is by using actions that both replace themselves and exclude themselves from progressive difficulty once you mount your attack. And they show us the examples of Seething Anger, Cute Host Koto, and I Would Like to Rage that all do some variation of draw a card and exclude themselves from progressive difficulty for attacks. What do y'all think of this combo?
I'm gonna say it's cute. These are pretty weak cards generally. Like you don't see Koto, and Seething Anger is not good.
Yeah.
But I Would Like to Rage is definitely good in here, and it's pretty basic of just play cards that have less of a drawback visibility, but it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you attached +1 damage to all your attacks to all 3 of these actions, I think the only one that sees more play because of that is I Would Like to Rage, and that's because it's the closest to like a snap. You get the replacement right away, and your deck is smaller.
Yeah. No, 100%. And like, I would like to rage is also cool because if one of your attacks is a fury, you can then like get powerful. Like, it is a good card.
Rage is just a matter of deck ratios, right? If you're interested in thinning your deck at the cost of possibly playing some different action or asset or whatever, then I could see that card actually showing up in a Shune deck that's trying to be serious. But
it's also like the only one that doesn't either play on higher than a 3, so you can't play a turn 1, or increase the progressive of your foundations, like Seething Anger. Both of those, you can't really play them turn 1 without risking stuff. Whereas, like, you can play 1 rage turn 1 and be fine.
This is also just a very good learning tool in the sense of it will teach a player not to put play sets of all 3 of them in their deck because they saw it there.
I think if we didn't have Rage, if it was just Kodo and Seething Anger, I'd put it into learning tool tier.
Yeah.
But I think Rage is a cute enough piece here.
Yeah.
Now, here's the other thing he can do with his whole getting damage for cards in card pool. No Tact, which is a foundation, doesn't count towards progressive, and Phantom Strangulation, which gives -1 difficulty foundations in pool. Singulation, thank you. No Tact is another cheap way to stuff your card pool, and it pairs particularly well with Phantom Singulation and a longer attack string. What do y'all think of this one? I kind of like this combo.
Yeah, I'm pretty low on this. I think No Tech doesn't replace itself the way the actions do. Again, it's like, okay, you're gonna get +1 damage for the turn. It's sort of not a 3 difficulty foundation. You know, I think No Tact is probably a little underrated in terms of just like permanently being off of everybody's radar. It does do some stuff, but
I like it unlimited.
Yeah. The assertion that, you know, you should play No Tact to give your Singulation -1 more difficulty doesn't feel that exciting to me. Like, you might do it, but you can there's a pretty good chance you can find better cards.
It's -1 difficulty, and it's what, +1/+2 basically, because +1 from Shune and +1/+1.
Yeah, if you want to count both.
Sure. Yeah.
I feel I feel about this combo the way I feel about a +2 low block. Not good.
Yeah.
So where are we? Are we on That's Cute? Are we on Learning Tool? What are you guys wanting for this one?
I don't feel like you're for this one personally.
Yeah, I think I'd probably say Learning Tool at the highest for definitely.
I'm fine with Learning Tool
because like it is. If we had better cards for that, maybe that's more worth it, or more cards like that. Because like, like it'll teach someone that if we have a bunch of cards that work like this, then we can actually combo with it. But like, if it's just the one card that kind of does that thing, I don't know how much I feel about that.
Let's get into the one I think is one of the funniest ones. Meitenkun. With Destructive Entrance. Meitenkun really wants to deal damage to the rival as soon as possible. And as a 5-hander, he has his work cut out for him. I love the personality in this description. Destructive Entrance is an attack that you can open with that can reach 8 speed without any outside help, making it a tough prospect to block. The nice thing is that if you manage to trigger Meitenkun's response, then you can use Meitenkun's form ability to build the face-down card added by Destructive Entrance's Blitz ability. This allows Destructive Entrance to move to your momentum at the end of the turn.
Shit, we've never checked a 3 in our life.
This is just a bad idea, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, you know, look, I don't think they're that wrong, right? It is a 6 difficulty, 8 speed move, and I don't know where else you're not getting too many other 8 speed moves in Meitenkun.
Right.
No.
If it does work, it's very good. The card has deflect. It's not like a complete dead weight in your hand.
Okay. I'm hearing some decent arguments here.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm brave enough to call it like
what were they
or a local legend, but like I think if someone's trying to like work on their Meitenkun deck and they slam a couple of these in and try them out, I'll be like, all right, yeah, give it a shot, whatever.
Yeah.
So you guys want to put it in That's Cute then?
Someone get got by that. Like,
yeah, I think That's Cute is fair because like if someone did that to me, right, and I didn't know that,
you would need to have an otherwise cheap attack lineup as the catch, because if they do block it, now what?
Yeah. Sure. But like, yeah, if I had this, if I got by this, I wouldn't be mad. I'd be like, well, that's cute.
Sure.
Okay, guys, 8 mid 8 is not good. To pay 2 progressive difficulty so you can take 1 progressive difficulty away with your character is not a combo. That is not actually synergy. That's not how any of this works.
I think the only reason I'm upset that this is here is I want this slot to instead be them talking about Maiden-kun using Sword Get Longer. Because I think Sword Get Longer is insanely cool in this character, and is also a 6 diff 6 mid 6 that builds us a bunch of face downs.
Yeah.
Does entrance take from the top of your deck or from your card or
it's top of your deck, so you have to like randomly top deck your massive machine and then build it.
Sure, but it does actually +1 you if you do it. And
it would be like you build 3 face downs, and then if you hit with it, you draw 3 and then build it face down. You got 4 face down foundations.
Oh, I meant specifically with dramatic entrance.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, because like or whatever, because like it's not good, but and at least +1s you a foundation if it works.
Yeah, like this could be a teaching tool where it's like, how good is 8 speed attack?
Right.
Not good, actually. Turns out it's not good. It's not effective at landing a hit because 8 speed mids get blocked by a +3 modifier and 6 foundations, which your opponent might have.
Sure.
Right? Like, it's not that hard. I became radicalized this when I played Kick Scare Female back in MHA1, and I was like, oh man, I have a 10 speed high engine kick. No one can block a 10 speed attack. And then Jiro's like, specialist of sound twice. Very easily block it with a +1. Like, is that supposed to happen?
Yeah, I mean, not everyone's playing speed reduction. Yeah. This will land on Mikasa.
All right.
I'm going to continue hating, but you can put it where you want.
We'll put it in that's cute for now. If that's cute gets too big, we might move it down to learning tool. I think I'm comfortable with that. Now here's what I like. Spirit Slash. Spirit Slash is a great card for Maiden-kun to build his form ability. Find a way to commit him and build Spirit Slash to trigger its ability and net yourself 2 foundations. It does work, by the way, right? Like the static will trigger when it's going face down into your stage.
Yeah, so it's triggers on leaving your card pool. So it gets on the bus, it triggers then, and then it goes to your stage. And if it was even if it said after you build this, after you build this, it might be in trouble. But it leaves your card pool before.
That would be crazy text to put in an attack card after you build this.
I kind of want to put this in Locals Legend. I like this idea.
Yeah, I mean that's a thing that I could actually see that deck doing. So like, I can see that.
Like, compare this interaction. Like if you have some face downs from the previous turn, this is a 6 high for 5 for 4 difficulty.
Yes.
And then it pays you back 1 more when you clear it.
Yeah.
Versus Destructive Entrance, which is 6 difficulty, and you still have 1 progressive if you manage to have.
Broberg is really upset that Destructive Entrance is in that's cute tier. No, I think this is Locals Legends though. Like, because I agree with you, Broberg. Like, this is like a card.
This should be in a higher tier than the other one for sure.
Yes,
absolutely.
I do not think it makes it in your regional build of Maiden-kun, but I think like I would take it to a Locals in a heartbeat.
I mean, my thing is I'd probably play it in a regionals Maiden-kun. It's just whether or not I'd take Maiden-kun.
Well, that's true.
Right? Like,
no, actually, Maiden-kun, you can be error-tuned, and you can like block with Spirit Slash and then clear it with some of the error-tuned clear your card pool stuff.
That's cool.
No, like Asui 3
Pony
with
did this all the time.
Was awesome. And Pony, too.
So
okay, this is it keeps going up in my estimation, but
hey, again, we can always readjust these at the end. We've established that Maiden-kun really wants to deal damage. Conversely, that means your opponent really wants to block your attacks. Load up on effects that punish blocking, and your rival will have nowhere to run. And it shows us a bunch of cards that say do this when blocked. I think this is primo, like this is just a learning tool thing.
Like, this is kind of very very vibes. Like, hey, these things all work together kind of amorphously.
Yeah, it's just like just learn how to learn why playing cards that give value on block is good in a deck that gets value on damage. Sure, man.
I'm like here for calorie counter, but not any of the other cards.
I literally just had to go look up Rewind Smash on Ultra right now.
Bro, Hasty Retreat, pick up my Spirit Slash. I'm pogging.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Then block with it. Sick. I'm in. And then it's funny they include this one because I almost don't think it needs mention. Ultimate Combination is one of my favorite cards in the game. tell me who wrote this article. I want to know who this is the favorite card of. And Benimaru is probably the best character to use it. Convert your foundations to momentum, then get it all back in a flashy burst. So like this is obviously a crazy like combo. Like it's the reason why people are considering Benimaru for Worlds. Like I've seen a lot of people build this. I want to just get out a grievance before we discuss it. I don't like that they didn't show us any foundations that do cool things with rebuilding them. You know, show me the Mount Lady form, get a momentum, then you stuff in a momentum, then you build it, then you get another momentum, something like that.
Yeah, or finally for you would be another perfect one here, because I think there's one thing that if this is like a beginner's tutorial guidebook kind of thing, I think it's valuable to point out that Benimaru can scoop up a face down for -0 speed to himself, and then you can, even if you have a committed face down, you can scoop it up and then effectively ready it by rebuilding it off of the powerful.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And also a walkthrough of precisely the mechanics of that build ability, if that's a triggered effect in the future, or if that's a after you powerful, then you play it as your next enhance and put them back from your stage then, because that's really unsettled area of the rules.
This is almost an anti-learning tool because people are going to be more confused trying to play this card correctly.
But I think I also suppose an S. This combo 6.
Yeah, this is like this is a real. If it wasn't for the fact that this card is rotating after Worlds, I think there would be a regional that this would eventually top. I think it's the kind of gears turning deck that some aggro player is gonna want to play with. Unfortunately, we lose it in like 4 weeks. But Benimaru had another one, Benimaru Collider. This interaction comes straight from the challenger decks themselves. But in case you haven't noticed yet, Benimaru can use the printed Powerful 1 ability on Benimaru Collider to draw a card, then granted Powerful 2 to draw a second card, at the cost of another momentum. I mean, this is just like, hey, this is just learning tool, right?
Yeah. It's that's cute at best. It's learning tool majority of the time.
Well, and I don't think learning tool is necessarily worse than that's cute, but it is so clearly a like learn why sometimes you could give a second powerful would be good.
Right.
Like that is it is a primo. We're learning how to use these cards.
Right. Yeah, it's like if someone again, like as a beginner, you want to learn how the gears work and it's like see the options ahead of you. And if you spot this option and say like work backwards, like, oh hey, I could draw 2 cards. You know, you've succeeded. You've found something out about the game. You're doing great.
I like Daniel's
we're very proud of you.
Is a Biddy card working with Biddy a combo? Technically.
Yeah, that's also a valid point of it's actually a combo where it's it's just.
It's like play the is Summon Dark Shadow a combo in Tokoyami, yo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Summon Dark Shadow plus Dark Shadow Ruin a combo? It's 80% the same name.
Is her name pronounced Isla or Isla? Because I know Bridget Overlord will kill me if I get this wrong.
I just call her Isla.
Okay, I'm gonna say Isla then.
I don't know, but
well, that's fine. Then we can both die. Isla's ability to improve her checks on ally cards put her in a great position to use some of the more expensive but powerful attacks in the game. You start off on 6 difficulty cards and find opportunities to play them outside of your opening attack. I don't like this.
This isn't really a combo. It's just telling you this is how the character works.
These also aren't good attacks. Like,
whoa. I played Dark Shadow Behemoth for a minute at local.
Yeah,
Behemoth
is a cool card.
I want to reiterate. Mechazoid Onslaught is not a good attack.
Sure.
Dark Shadow Behemoth is defensible. If you have in like a mid to late game situation, it's not very good in the early game.
I my problem with citing Dark Shadow Behemoth in this particular circumstance is if you're playing that late in the string, like you've missed the point.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's
you want to play it as your first attack and turn any sideways and make it a throw.
Yeah. And that's the other problem with in Isla specifically is that like if you open with one of these 6 diffs, which yes, it's saying you can use it later in the string, but if you decide to open one of these 6 diffs and you check a 3, you're either using your ability, which means you turn off half her character, or you are tapping 3 foundations, which can be a big ask early in a string.
That's why the supposition here is that you're using these at the end of a string, but you don't want to use Behemoth at the end of a string. And
right.
you can probably do something better with a 5 diff than what Mechazoid Onslaught is giving you at 6.
Yeah, I would consider this what were they thinking, because I don't think it's a combo at all.
Yeah. Now for something that I do kind of like a little more, going second, Isla can reliably play Cynthia Ultram on turn 1 without worrying about a bad check. That's the kind of bold play no other character would consider. Thank you so much, whoever wrote this article. I just love these sentences. I think it's cute. Like, Cynthia's a fun card, and this is one of the.
This is spicy. I could see this being like an actual thing that an Isla deck does out of its sideboard. Like, I know I'm facing some grindy deck that's not going to punch me in the face for daring to use my response to play this backup on one.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. That's cool, actually. Hold on.
And let me strip their hand, which is going to be very, very important for my ability to get up and over these in my character that doesn't give speed.
Actually, yeah, I can kind of see the Isla checkmate where it's like, I'll seal your stage, I'll rip your hand with Cynthia, and I'll like Hunter's Ally for some more Cynthias, and I'll kill the first Cynthia to get around the unique rule.
Yeah,
sure.
This could be good, man.
Yeah, I think that's good. So I mean, I still have the same counter argument of it's not really a combo. It's just this is a card you can play, like. But sure, like it's fine. It's good.
I don't think it's real F. Do we think it's Locals Legends or we think it's cute?
I'm fine with either of those.
Yeah, I think I'll say this is cute. I think kind of in the imagination that it's technically it's like a linear list, so it's technically multi-dimensional. We're flattening it down to one dimension, and this is like not so much of a combo, but it does kind of hang together a little bit.
Yeah. Then we get into another one that's been talked about a lot. Hadir has a great potential for interesting loops where you can find form, speed, draw. Isla has exactly the symbols and tools to make that happen, and it shows 2 from the Challenger deck plus Horrifying Realization. Hadir and Invite Hell, which I assume is just here because it just guarantees you the momentum.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like it is not intentionally not wanting to show us the like most broken cards you can use with it. It's not showing the like heal strikes or the infiltrations to do the infinite loop, but it still is a real thing this deck does.
Yeah, I mean the idea is real. It's well known. Everybody is aware of it at this point.
Right.
It doesn't have to. It's really just Hadir and those other 3 cards, and the Isla being there is just like here's a character not named Deku you can do this on.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that this is just an easy real life combo because it will see massive play.
Yeah, like the combo is Hadir plus
form draw.
Anything that satisfies it needs 2 hooks, and there's half a dozen things that do either hook. And this is in fact 3 things that are the form draw hook, and 1 thing that is momentum hook. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
I have this one genuinely makes me a little mad. Hydern. Hydern's Enhance allows you to look at your rival's hand and discard attacks if you have exactly 3 attacks in your card pool. If you want to activate this ability twice in one combat, consider cards like Rapid Rescue and that can remove themselves from the count and bring you back to exactly 3. Now, there is a typo here because he looks at your rival's hand and discards non-attacks.
I was about to say, like, wait a minute.
We're just going to ignore that part. This seems like bad, right? Because like you've removed all the non-attacks the first time. They'd have to have drawn or picked up a blind non-attack and didn't use it on that attack, and then you get the combo.
Yeah, so I hit my Hydern button, and then you enhance draw a card, and you draw a Templar, and you block with Templar and draw 2. And then I had to Hydern you again so that I can clear out the non-attacks you drew off the Templar block.
So all you have to do is play Rapid Rescue, a foundation, and your opponent has had to blind draw into a bunch of non-attacks, and then it's a good combo, man.
It's really putting them in checkmate with your 5-hit string that's ripping their hand apart.
I have some latent memories of a checked Artifice Avarice making my World's Kill not guaranteed. So I'm a little sensitive to this, but yeah, no,
sure.
not really.
So hear me out. I agree with you. I think this is a terrible combo.
He's about to use a learning tool.
Yes, because it teaches you. It is a teaching tool that says, "Hey, characters that say like exactly 3 or stuff like that can use their ability multiple times if you find a way around that." And
okay, if this character was doing it,
It's not a good learning tool because the character's not good for the combo they're showing, but it is a learning tool.
I guess.
I appreciate being reminded that Rapid Rescue is a card that exists.
Yeah, I'd say I think the problem is
I'm fine putting in either one. I'm just saying there is
everything could be defined as a learning tool on that level.
Sure.
I'm saying not a combo.
What are they doing?
That's fine.
Yeah, this is just not good.
That's totally fine. I was just saying there's an argument for it. Is all.
Dolores, Hidden Wisdom. Stock up on your enormous axes in your stage. So when the time comes, you have plenty of foundations to keep readying Dolores to use her responsibility. Yeah, that's what Axe does. Axe recovers you resources when you pop it. I think it's learning tool because, like, I don't think it's cute. You could argue it's like good enough to be in Locals Legend, but it just like is a thing.
Yeah.
Like, where are you guys feeling on this?
I think if we're putting the Cynthia thing in there, I think this is fine with that's cute personally, because this is a card this character can run and is good to run in this character.
Broberg, Tim?
Yeah, I'm pretty low on this one, but
yeah, I think if I'm playing Dolores, I'm not. I'm hoping to never use the Sack 3 to ready.
Sure.
And I don't know if I'm building my deck around being able to do that.
Sure. I'm willing to put it in that's cute. I don't think it's what were they thinking, because like there is a clear logic here.
Right.
I was willing to do either that's cute or learning tool.
I mean, I think that, yeah, like in my head, like tier 5 is in part like this complete nonsense, or it's also just like, I think this is an example of in my head of like just not a combo, right? Like you put enormous next to your deck and it commits for +4 damage, and that's actually the best part of it in this situation, right?
Yeah.
And so once in a blue moon, you'll pull an extra foundation out of your ass in a very critical point where you need to cancel where you predict you need to cancel 3 blitzes over the course of the turn, and that'll be valuable. But that's an incredibly narrow edge case scenario.
I'll put it at the top of what were they thinking, because I think we're gonna do like a relook of this list at the end.
I wish we had a tier that was just like, yeah, I guess you could do that.
I guess, man.
Because that's where I want that.
Next time we do it, we'll add a tier that's I guess, man. And then
that's really where Destructive Entrance goes.
Yeah.
I guess it's Destructive Entrance. There you go. And then we have combos with older characters. First, we have one with Historia. Historia Race uses Revered Hermit extremely well. She triggers the foundation build portion of Hermit's ability, and Hermit leaving his stage gives you an opportunity to gain wall counters again when future Hermit plays. Doesn't it also get a wall counter when it builds the face down? So I don't know why that's not mentioned in the article, because that's like the part that makes this really work super well, is that you also get free draw, or you get free counters twice with this.
At the risk of sounding like a pessimist, it's possible they didn't even realize that's how that worked. Because face down foundations can be confusing with people. I
refuse to believe that.
I mean, that's fine.
Like that's like kind of in the frame of the one earlier where it's like there's a missed opportunity to point out a not necessarily intuitive real-world interaction that you can trigger Historia on building a foundation that doesn't have a name. That'd be a valuable thing to point out here, and that would have the absence of that kind of cost some points with me.
Sure, absolutely.
I think I'm kind of judging these combos independent of the description. It's like, is this a good card combo? And I'm going to be real. I think there is a Locals Historia deck that like uses Revered Hermit to create this insane defensive loop of getting a ton of counters, gaining life back, drawing cards for DR. That sounds like actually a super fun deck for Locals.
Sure.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like, also this could, if you put slightly recuperation time on top of this combo, now we're cooking.
Oh my god. Gain a life off Historia, -2 damage for each recoup in stage.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah, gain 2 life, -2 damage, get half a draw. That's also another -1 damage once you get those.
Yeah, I guess you can do this if you're just trying to do more of the thing. If I was building Historia, I would think that what I'd be interested in is not something that just gives me even more cards.
See,
right, that's kind of the opposite of my problem.
That's why I'm not putting it in real AF combo, because I think you could get cut before you take it to a major. But I think you would have a blast showing up to your locals with this kind of like DR gain life Historia deck that this is like a big piece of.
People do love drawing a million cards.
This is a sick way to troll your locals and get 3-1-0 draws or 3-1-0 wins on your way to 3-0ing locals.
Yeah.
And play for all of the hours.
Yeah. You're the reason the shop has to stay open late that day.
Yeah.
Then we've got 2 more. So we have Botan. I don't know if the last time you guys read Botan. I hadn't read her in a while. Nesh, which adds a foundation to the top of your deck, and Lust for Battle. While it won't win the game outright, great start. Nesh placing Lust for Battle on the top of the deck can generate solid value. Botan has the symbols to make this happen, and she loves big damage throws. I don't like that we are just like, hey, this is a character that has these 2 symbols, but does nothing for this combo. Mm-hmm. And these are like 2 cards that are okay with each other. I don't know. Are you guys getting more from this than I am? Because it feels like nothing to me.
Oh no. I mean, I'm also slightly annoyed that they didn't put any of the Death Bing Bongs on there.
Yeah.
Like from AOT, and instead they chose a card that's rotating. Yeah.
Well, like to be clear, like the combo is that you Lust for Battle, and then your next check is Lust for Battle, and so when you make that check, you get to respond and ding their check.
Sure.
Because if it was if you put an I'm with you from AOT on top, it's gonna get checked and not be doing the enhanced step, so it's not gonna work.
Maybe I should read Botan again.
Yeah, Lust does some particular things here, but yeah, I think it's the matter of the character having the symbols.
Yeah. That's all. It's just this character has.
Oh, okay, yeah, fair enough. I thought Botan was both.
Either that or Jeremy Ray wrote this article, and he's the only person that remembers that Botan exists.
And I mean, like to give them credit too, like Botan having 8 damage throws is nice because she also burns them.
Botan has the extra burn. Botan does like
5. That's not nothing.
Sure.
Here's where I'm at with this. If this was a character, so I actually agree with like the death idea. If this was like a death void character that milled one, which I don't know if that exists to be fair. And it was like, oh, you can stack it on top and trigger the Death Bing Bong.
Wow.
Does it? Hold on. Is there a character? Is
there a Death Void character that mills one?
Am I being trolled?
It's not the Brave.
Not one.
Yeah, they literally could have put not one on there and then done.
You put not one here and you show Death Bing Bong Nesh. I put it in. That's cute.
I think this is cute because Botan's cute.
Sure.
I refuse to. I will put that for now, but I refuse to use the logic of she's a cute girl, so we're gonna put her, and that's cute here.
I mean, I'm not saying she's attractive. I'm saying like like she's like little
this is head
pats tier. This is head pats tier. Good for you, kid.
Yeah. All right. Last one. I hate
Bubble
this
Girl.
One. So we got Bubble Girl, which we got Bubble Girl back. Maybe this is gonna be based.
All I see is 5 cards.
Because she has the word pro hero on her.
I know.
Yeah.
Team Hero.
I'm looking at the picture and I don't see the word pro hero on her anywhere. What are you talking about?
Okay, secret knowledge. You have to know the errata document to read this article.
Adds another layer of redundancy to my Bubble Girl plus fan favorite plus Science Bro deck.
All right, who built a Bubble Girl deck, by the way? Like, this is how we figure out who wrote this article. who loves Ultimate Combo and plays Bubble Girl?
You have to use Team Hero 15 to grab fan favorite. Then you grab fan favorite to grab more fan favorites. Then eventually grab something like Tinker's Touch. And just like that, you found 5 or so triggers for your Science Bro, starting from a single card. Hang 10 is exactly the kind of attack that loves repeated stat bonuses. How high can you go?
It's cinema, guys. Perfect.
This is the most crackhead combo. So this is, you are playing 4 fan favorite. You've checked them all. You're playing a Tinker's Touch and a Team Hero 15 to then chain them all together to get the same amount of stats as Massive Mute Machine.
Hey, if this isn't, we were talking about the Dan Hughes character card that was owed. That Nationals was won on the back of something similar to this nonsense.
If this isn't the definition of like, that's adorable that you just did that to me. I don't know what we're doing here.
Sure, I do.
No, you will be legendary at your locals when you beat them.
It's one of those two.
I am willing to put locals legend, not for
that's
the reason
totally fine.
It actually 3-1s in locals. I think you go 1-3 in your locals, but the one game match you win, it's the hypest thing in the room.
You're playing a bazillion Find Your Best Foundations. How bad can your deck be?
You're playing both.
Yeah, that's some of these individual cards, right? Fan favorite is the best foundation in your discard pile. Science Bros is insane. Team Hero 15, insane. Hang 10, insane. Bubble Girl, adequate.
Sure.
That's the word.
Bubble Girl, like, hopefully there's a different character, but still.
Yeah, is there a reason? She has pro hero. That's why
she's a pro hero with the air symbol. Is that the only symbol they have?
She says, "Match some buttons. Give my hang time +4 speed on my face."
That's fair.
Okay, so hold on. So how much do we draw?
Oh yeah.
How much do we draw?
She puts hang 10 to 10 speed on her own, actually. And then
Okay,
you draw a card for every Science Bros trigger.
Hold on. So she gets the draw there. Okay, you know what? It's cooking now. I'm actually in.
I'm telling you, it's cinema. Like,
you're gonna draw like 5 cards and get this to like 1,000,000 speed. You know what?
Shout out to, with all these tutors, you can also probably fetch up some of like making preparations. If you get 4 speed, you get to untap it.
Sam points out
you get 3 damage rather.
It's literally a different combo, just a new card that makes it more consistent. Yes, but it's a funny combo, and we haven't seen it put into an article yet, so I will accept it. So let's look back on the list. We actually have a very even list here.
Also, for what it's worth, the reason they chose Bubble Girl is literally the only pro hero with good and air.
With air and a fan favorite symbol, I guess.
Oh, because
fair, yeah. With a fan favorite symbol, that's probably not true. There's probably someone else. Was it all life as well? Okay, let's see.
But turning on hang 10 is pretty relevant.
Yeah.
I think
otherwise you have to work really hard to start drawing cards.
Local legend for me. I like the idea of we're drawing like 5 cards off of this combo.
The answer is still she is the only character that can play all the cards together and have pro hero.
So, yeah, there's only 3 air symbol pro heroes. One of them's the 5 anti-Ryukyu.
So what I'm saying is show up to Worlds with Bubble Girl fan favorite, please. This will be a fun deck for Hero 2, actually. Like, if you want to have a fun Hero 2 night at your locals, this would be a really silly deck to take.
Also, man, wait, they should have just had another one after this. It's also just Mirko Team Hero Hang 10 Science Bros, because that sure is.
Yeah, I mean, in Hero 2, you can do this with All Might, right?
Yo,
yeah, I didn't include set 1, 2, or 3.
Yeah,
actually, like genuinely, like if the people who, because I know a lot of them do watch the content, if anyone who is in charge of these articles watches this podcast, as starting
Hero 2 article actually,
type
up their format.
Yeah, well, one, make a Hero 2 format article, but like include one combo from Retro and Hero 2 in each of these combo articles. I think that would be a really cool addition.
Sure.
Oh yeah, that's cute.
And I would be super down for that.
Also, if the person who wrote this is watching, bring Bubble Girl to Worlds for gunslinging so we can know who wrote this article.
Absolutely. Hold on. All right. So, does anyone have any changes they want to make to the list, or are we good to ship it? Is that our list?
I don't think there's any value in nitpicking the list of combos.
I was ready for us to have like 8 and that's cute and be like, guys, we can't have all of these just be that's cute. But this is like a very good even list.
Yeah, excellent job, author of this article, and making your combo so balanced.
Yeah, I
really represent every level of skill.
So we will I'll be posting this in like the Discords after the stream. But we did have another thing we want to talk about today, and I am going to go ahead and before we get started with the next thing, I want to move the chat over because I realized I had forgotten to put the chat in. Our chat's popping tonight with 21 viewers. I am assuming Tam is done streaming at this point.
He's streaming, but I don't think he's streaming UVS anymore.
Oh, he's doing Riftbound. So all the UVS people are running to us.
No, he's playing Cult of the Lamb.
Oh, gotcha.
He's actually playing a video game.
All right. We did have another thing we want to talk about, and I get to have some fun for this. We have right here a
please make that image bigger or something. That looks so scuffed.
Yeah, we're gonna make it a little bigger. I'm gonna just have to stretch. I don't think I'm gonna have a good way to do this.
I mean, you could get like a black or a white background or something like that.
There we go. This is what I was looking for.
Okay, yeah, that looks a lot better.
I knew I'd had set up the screen to look better, and I just couldn't remember where it was on my OBS. So here's our OBS. Tam being a cult to Scotty. Yeah. So Let's Talk UVS had a lot of fun, and you will rarely hear me give Let's Talk UVS or David credit for anything. Good ass video. This was such a fun idea for a video, to the point where I know like Final Round is stealing it tomorrow, and I am unfortunately unable to be there. So I am getting to have my little bit of cake here and rank the quality of this. We're gonna all sit here. We're gonna rank the quality.
We need to do these on Rochester CCG, but like we maintained a little more kayfabe that we were actually going to like track points, and we certainly never were actually going to do that.
I know David loves fantasy football, and David loves gambling. There is no shot David.
If it's just for Worlds, I think they'll count it up.
Yeah, we totally had a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Like I know we did these for several years, and for several of them we had that spreadsheet maintained up to date.
I don't think any viewer cared.
Oh yeah,
that is completely valid.
If you wanna call two things that like are not super crazy fun to watch, but I think are really fun to do, it's drafting and tier lists. I don't know why I think they're so fun.
Yeah, I think I think the drafting is fun to watch. Mm-hmm. I don't think the like results of the point total mean anything to anybody.
Yeah, sure.
They handle that internally. See who gets the
I promise I would not be surprised if David's put $50 on the line somewhere for this point total, though.
Oh yeah. They could have something on the line among themselves for sure.
Because the mechanics of this is that it's like you get you put some things in line, so you're not just guessing the winner, you're guessing who's going to be popular and who's going to have a lot of entrants, and then who's going to have a lot of like medium finishes, and then so the mechanics aren't just like what do I think is the best deck. You think it's like what's the best deck weighted by the most popular decks, which is like a very complicated projection strategy, which is going to be everyone's going to look at it differently and have their own little kinks to it. So it's very high variance.
I'm just waiting for this turn to a Kalshi bet. We're actually sponsored by Kalshi on this one. We are going to be putting this up for money.
And one thing just to point out, so if folks didn't watch that video, I do recommend it. It's a good watch. But the way to read this is that the first pick was the top left corner, Mark Tyner, pick one, so to speak. And then they snake drafted. So like down the first column, then up the second column, and down the third column, and up the fourth. And so on.
We'll mostly be like talking about we'll kind of point out as we're going through each tier who got like the first, last, middle pick, and kind of talking about them relative to their picks. Let's go and start from the top. Ross made a ballsy choice to open this because like I think everyone goes like the best character, like Mikasa 4 has an insane conversion rate. It's one a bunch of people have talked about taking. It's one that is almost, I would be astonished if there are no Mikasa's 4s in day 3. It would just be baffling to me. I'm not saying it won't happen, but it would be really shocking.
I was like, it could be very similar to that one regional where there were no Ojiro 3s when everyone expected that to be like the full boogeyman.
I think my brain just thinks of it as like the Pony or Ymir of this format as to was World's last format, and those both converted to the next days very well.
Absolutely.
So
it just depends on how much hate there's going to be, but yeah.
So Ross gets the first choice. Instead of choosing Mikasa, probably going to be the most popular deck, or the Deku 6, who is like the best answer to Mikasa, probably, or at least one of the better answers to Mikasa. He goes for a ballsy choice of Mark Tyner. And I got to say, Ross, you're my GOAT. I understand. You're telling me I'm going to win Worlds with Mark Tyner. Appreciate you, man.
Just pick the new hotness and a character that there's a lot of players that find appeal in control characters that do mean things, right? And he certainly appeals to a segment of the population for sure. And a lot of those players are very good.
Yeah, absolutely. Like not to talk, I'm not going to talk too much about the player choices, especially right now. But like, it's not surprising he then chose Travis as like one of his people to win because like Mark Tyner to me feels like a Travis deck. Like when I remember how much Travis did with like Elder Toguro, that deck, I'm like, oh yeah, sure. I think it is a base choice. I think it is cool. I think it is awesome. I think if you are going for like the most number of points, I don't know if I would have done this as my first choice. I would have been a coward and a wimp and chosen Mikasa.
Yeah, my model of Mikasa, because I could be way off base with this, but my model of her is that she had she had a competitive Devil Jin matchup and like competitive games across the board. And I could just be wrong about this because I think that she's been galactically overrated, especially in the absence of the thing she was running upon. You know, she's just a normal fighter deck at some point. I don't know.
I think to me, Mikasa is the deck, and that's why I am curious to see day 3. I think you can plan for a lot of answers to Mikasa, and that matchup becomes way more even if you are at all planning for her. Like, there is a billion card pool cancels that exist nowadays. And also, in a similar vein, if you can prepare for the coin must task, it's a lot easier to handle her. I will say one of the scary things in Mikasa is she resolves coin must task after removing with a weapon at the ready. She probably just wins the game that turn. So you have to like be prepared for that existing. But yeah, I'm all in on Justin Birch, my favorite player. Thank you, Ross.
But apparently not.
Me, you
yeah, he didn't pick you. Yeah,
I don't believe you.
Okay, so picking characters like this, I think is like a cheeky way of sort of cheating because you effectively get 2 players that way, right? Because like he not only picked Travis Tangeman, he also picked you because you're the only person he knows who's bringing Mark Tyner.
Absolutely, yeah. No, I'm mostly teasing. I just do think it's funny,
right?
So I think cool first choice. Drew then goes with the choice that you expect, and you're going to notice a pattern of Drew taking the most popular choice each time that you could expect at that point. Not to call Drew a basic dude, you know, but
well, you know, I mean, I think it's a reasonable strategy to say what's the if you have a simple metric on popularity, and that's a decent metric on popularity, which is ultimately half of the goal here.
Absolutely. And in case anyone who's not watched the video isn't aware, this is not who do you think is going to win Worlds. It's what decks do you think are going to have the most wins on day 1, day 2, and day 3 with like scaling points each day.
Yeah, so that's why Godzilla's third, right?
Yeah. So, you know, Mikasa, like, if you think this deck's going to get, I think Mikasa's going to get a ton of day 1 wins for sure. Like, this is a deck that if I was playing in day 1, I would probably take Mikasa because I think that deck is just so gets a lot of free wins to people who aren't prepared, and a lot of people day 1 have not put the amount of grind that a lot of your day 2.
Everyone in day 1 got at least 50 points. They know a little bit of what they're doing.
Oh, sure. I'm not saying they're bad. I'm saying they probably are not. They're not the day 2. I spend like 30 hours a week grinding the game, which are people.
Honestly, I think that's like results oriented, backwards thinking. To be honest, like Nick Reagan 2 years ago was the guy who put more hours than a lot of the day 2 players in.
Sure. But I do think like regardless, taking the most popular deck that has a competitive matchup into a lot of things. Are there people who spend 30 hours a week grinding? What I have heard is that Calvin puts ridiculous hours into this game. Wub Calvin, to be clear. That dude puts in crazy work. Broberg and Tim rely on their years of skill and like stumble into a deck the night before. Or morning of sometimes.
Just leaning into the dinosaur status here.
Listen. Oh man, you said dinosaur, and I lost whatever I was gonna say, and I started looking for like some kind of like oil metaphor where I've been compressed by millions of years of age since I was born in 1990. And
yeah, I am frankly leaning into my belief that this peak deck has a shot, and that I don't think I'm going to increase my equity that much by driving myself crazy looking for something else.
Sure.
There's probably better choices, but I don't think there's anything that's going to make Miles better.
Sure. Eli picked Godzilla. It is like it's Godzilla, man. Cool.
Yeah. Probably still going to show up in a day 1 field.
Yeah.
And you know, hey, there's been this much time for people to find their post Titan Glyph lists.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think
this much time to possibly prey on people that are like, oh, I don't have to care about unyielding anymore, huh?
Yeah, especially if the metagame gets polarized to like a lot of Deku. If people think Deku is really the key with the two angle attack, right? Because he's a good hair deck and he's a good one punch deck and a good defensive resources deck. Godzilla can kind of bully Deku, right? Deku doesn't like getting his stage destroyed, and so I think that's could be a metagame consideration.
It's a totally reasonable choice. It's a very popular one. I would be more in on it if more people from EU were coming, but I've heard a lot of people from EU are not coming, and like there are still American players that play it. Although I've heard Calvin Tahan, which is like the biggest champion of Godzilla, is like increasingly cold on the deck. And to me, if Calvin's cold, I'm like, ooh, I don't know if other people are going to be able to take this deck to much success.
I would be scared of every Godzilla you see on day 2.
That's true. You take
I think any Godzilla showing up on day 2 is going to be a very smart Godzilla.
Yes. David takes what's been floated around as the 3rd or 4th best deck in the format, somewhere in those top 5. Rodan, or Rodan. I don't remember how he's pronounced.
Rodaniel.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Good choice. This is a good day 2 choice, I think. Rodan is a harder deck to play, in my opinion. And the people who still take Rodan to tournaments are usually really good players. They're like your Phil Birches of the world. Like, obviously, anyone taking a deck is a good player. I think your Rodan players are usually incredible at the fundamentals of UVS. I don't know where you guys are.
Or at least the ones that are doing well with Rodan.
Yeah, Rodan over Deku is a little surprising, just given their relative infamy in the format right now. But
yeah,
I'm not going to sit here and say it's strictly wrong. There's certainly more people trying to target out Deku. You can only target out Rodan so much. You can target out like the dirtily Rodans that are never going to kill you with like a Mikasa or whatever. But like a good Rodan deck's going to have game into whatever.
Yeah, and I think it's notable too that Rodan just picked up both team assets among a bunch of other goodies from the challengers.
True.
Yeah.
I am shocked that we do manage to get all the way to draft pick 5 before Deku is grabbed. I think Deku is going to be very popular. Not only do people like playing the pro tag character, but on a competitive level, this character is very good competitively right now. And like, if you don't think Mikasa is going to get hated out, I would be shocked that you think Deku is going to get hated out of the format, because I think it is harder to target the Deku decks right now because they get both the Hadir loop and the One Punch loop than it is to hit Mikasa, which all are playing the same card.
Well, maybe I'm crossing streams here, but you're talking about you don't have to hate out either of these necessarily. You just have to not be like sitting there waiting for them to kill you.
Sure, you out aggro or kill them before they kill you.
It's not even, you don't even have to like aggro Deku if he's planning to like set up until like turn 5-6 or something.
Sure, totally true. And then Ryan comes in with a pick that not seen much talk lately, but is a deck that has proven itself time and time again with Krista. I think this is I think Travis might be taking Krista to Worlds, and I want to hedge my bets on this.
Oh, yeah.
And there are a few top players. I'm being a little facetious there. There are a few top players who do really like the Krista deck. And I think there are better choices that get picked up in tier 2, but I can certainly get why you pick Krista here once all the boogeymen are gone.
Yeah, Krista and Nanago is certainly 2 of the choices of all time. But I mean, I know there's some folks that are running Nanagos all the time, and that's a kind of a hot concept of offense, and certainly having again, I brought up Nick earlier and his run Worlds 2 years ago. Like, if you find the aggro deck that's just sideways from what people are preparing against, that is a very good strategy, and that might be what people bet on.
Right.
And I went on a tangent off of Krista too, but I think Krista is quite good. She's actually kind of in the same shape. She's doing things a bit sideways, and she's got good plans that scale up in longer games. She can break down your stage with big piles of stun. Like the decks ahead of her are not doing that on their offense really. So
I don't think Deku's defense bothers her at all. Right? Like if Deku's trying to like defend her out, she will kill him.
And if you are worried about Tyner, if you think it is going to show up a lot and be very scary, being the deck that stacks 6s on top of your deck is probably a decent place to be in.
Oh, yeah.
So I can totally understand why Krista is right here. I don't think it's the 6th, but I get it.
Yeah. Do you want to go one at a time through the rest of all the picks, or?
I think right now let's each take our favorite pick from each tier, or a pick we thought was bad. The most interesting pick for either good or bad reasons on each tier.
That's fair, because I was about to say, if we go one by one, we're going to be here till like 11:30.
So I just wanted to hit the first row.
That's fair.
Talk about the worst pick. So I will start with a pick that I think is really bad in tier 2. I think Ghidorah gets taken way too early. I think Ghidorah is fine. I think Ghidorah might do well. I think like Ryu Bridget, even like Benny Maru, Nick Reagan, which I'm going to talk about later on for sure. There are a lot of decks here I would put way above King Ghidorah here.
Yeah, Ghidorah 7 or Ghidorah 8th overall and Godzilla 3rd are I almost like they almost feel like legacy picks coded to me.
Right.
Like not to just say that we've had a lot of power creep, but we kind of had some power creep, and these guys haven't necessarily seen the best of it.
There is a reason why Hanji 2 has received basically 0 hits and is at the bottom of tier 2 in the draft, despite winning worlds.
What pick? That deck got like 4 nerfs to it.
I want to like I personally think Ghidorah is better than a lot of people are giving him credit for right now. Sure. I still probably wouldn't pick him in top 10.
Sure. Does anyone have a take here that they particularly want to call out? I know, Tim, you were just talking about a deck that showed up in tier 2.
Yeah. I mean, I certainly think Peak Assault right now. They're talking a little bit about it. Like, yeah, there's like the boogeyman or whatever, but overall it's a pretty open meta, right? You don't really know even like that there are some decks that are going to show up. You don't really like know the ratios or anything like that, and it's going to be a hodgepodge of stuff in the first couple columns here, and Absolutely. Peak just being the like stat beast doesn't have to. She did not like unyielding actually. That's actually a pretty good gain for her. Yep. I'm sure the death builds will be more popular. I'm playing order, but either way, the same death cards that Mikasa gets to play, right? She gets to run all those and has some of the similar interactions. Just instead of relying on a really wide card pool, she's going very tall. She is sort of the offense that's differently shaped than most of what's going on right now, while also having the defensive element to her.
Absolutely. I mean, this is a deck that people were scared of for a long time, and even though it didn't really manifest in top cuts in the way people were expecting, mostly in the face of like Hanji 1 stuff like that just blowing up, I think the deck is still very, very good.
Sure.
Yeah, I think she's very good. I think that David posted a video basically saying that Universe's players are all too instant gratification filled and too impatient and lazy and to put in the work. And I think there's genuinely merit to that. I think Peak is a hard deck to build perfectly, and she's a very wide open deck, and hard to play optimally in your games as well, which is things that can hold the deck back from being at regionals where people aren't I personally wasn't trying that hard for a lot of regionals this year, frankly. I showed up one with Peak, and I really enjoyed my deck, really enjoyed the process of getting there, and I did pretty well. And at Worlds, people are going to be putting their A game, putting their best foot forward. So,
Will, are you just arguing with Zach in the chat this entire time? Okay.
I'm just telling him I don't agree with him. That's all.
Does anyone else have a big thing they want to shout out in tier 2 before we move on to tier 3?
I was looking at the whole board, just be like, hey, there's
that's what I'm doing.
Oh, sure. If you want to just talk about big ones, then I will give one more in tier 2 that I do like. Sung Jin Woo's cool. I think a lot of people were kind of cold on the support, but I think like the people who have been really playtesting the support have been like, oh, this is actually like there's a really crazy
there's a pocket of Sung Jin Woo believers that are based on some pocket of Sung Jin Woo grinders that are on version 20 of whatever deck this is.
Yeah.
And so, you got to if you face Sung Jin Woo again, kind of like Godzilla, if you face Sung Jin Woo in day 2, bring your respect, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, I think like Sung Jin Woo is honestly a lot like Mikasa to me, right? He's not super fast, but he does scale up a lot in the long game, and he gets to counterplay you and have all these resources, the death symbol, among other things, and all these accumulating advantages, which is different in very different shapes than Mikasa. And he doesn't have quite the same level of, oh my god, here's my kill turn that went on for 40 minutes that Mikasa can do sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But he's very, very stable, right?
Yes.
He just needs to level up, and he gets a lot stronger. And then he has if he draws a hot hand at max level, it's an insanely overwhelming volume of stuff.
Yeah, I think I am 100% down to say that at least one SJW makes it from day 1 to day 2, because there just aren't many people who are playing against it, and they're not going to be like ready for what he does.
Absolutely.
And they're going to misplay against him. Can
I just say, can we stop respecting Grog as a deck? This is in tier 3. I think there are so many better decks than Grog on this list. And I maybe I'm a hater. I do not think Grog is a very good deck.
Hey man, two of them almost made top cuts at Buffalo. There were 2 in top 16.
I think the idea that there is that there is a clear single definition for what makes a good deck is a fallacy, and Grog shows that fallacy to you. Grog is a different shaped deck than what most things we call good decks are, and Grog can have very good matchups into decks that are much better than he is in like that abstract sense.
Sure.
And also he can have much worse matchups than even his tier would suggest against against various stuff around the format.
Like if you're here to fight Mikasa, shaving 2 off of every move, and more than that if you're like doing the card draw, settling the score stuff, and like how many attacks are you going to make her play, right?
Sure.
He's any spam damage reduction situation like Grog is going to have a bunch of sideways matchups that are dramatically swingy one way or the other.
And I can respect that. And I do acknowledge that. And I am a more results-oriented gamer than you guys are, for sure, in this regard. I just look at it like Grog has had maybe the one of, if not the worst conversion rates.
That means absolutely nothing, bro.
I think it does. I am sorry. I think the fact that this deck has shown up.
If the entire Where's Wub podcast showed up with the Grog deck that they've been working on for weeks, he would have a stunningly good conversion rate, I think.
I guess that's true.
Right? Like,
I don't know, man.
Yeah. And because the contrary positive of that is that if you have a bunch of people who learned the game last week and said, what's the best deck I can play at my skill level, not knowing how to tie my shoes, and it's like, oh, Grog, like, yeah, they're not going to have a great conversion rate because you can only, like, if the game's any good at all, not knowing how to tie your shoes is kind of disqualifying to being able to climb a mountain.
Sure. On the other hand, in the context of this tier list, how many people do you think are going to get many wins?
It's a bold pick in round 3, but I think Amajiki is pretty hot right behind him. So
I will tell you I do think Amajiki's hot. I will tell you a big miss here that I cannot believe it didn't get till round 5. If you think Nick Reagan is not showing up with Nick Reagan and has not put hours and hours into that deck, you're insane. I would have taken Nick Reagan in like probably 3, maybe even 2, just because I know Nick Reagan has put so many hours into that deck.
Yeah, there's a decent chance that like no one shows up with. Yeah, so TC was at the bottom of that draft. So, like, it's possible. Like, yeah, I think it's more possible that no one shows up with Biako, Berthold, Pumat, Jester, any of the backup characters, Reiner, Aaron. Like, these are characters that could possibly get 0 entrance.
I'm surprised Ymir win as late as she did.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I like Ymir a lot too.
I think that's where I am with a lot of this. Is there's a lot of picks late on that I think are weird. Mikasa 1's been doing very well recently, and River Cook, who I think is day 2, but he may have just missed. I don't remember if he just missed or made it.
Not sure.
But he's put a lot of hours into Mikasa 1 and really likes that deck. I know a few people who really like that deck. So I just keep looking at like some of these late picks and being like, I could tell you a top level player who is taking that deck. I cannot believe it wasn't grabbed earlier.
Yeah.
Apparently they got more points for late round picks. I don't know. I wouldn't have left those, especially Nick Reagan. I think that deck is still crazy. I think the +2/+2 twice and like stacking stun on each other is really good on this format.
Yeah, and kind of to the stuff we were talking about earlier about like drafts in general being participant sports and more so than, objectively, meaningful or important to everyone outside. Like there's an element to this of the player psychology of knowing who else you're drafting with and what they are looking at and what they're going to try to pick. Right. And you might be able to float a character like Nick Reagan later than he should go.
And you know what? If TC was thinking, I would take Nick Reagan earlier, but I know others won't because everyone on Let's Talk UVS thinks that deck's bad now. You know what? I'll give it to you, TC. That there is maybe player psychology I'm missing there.
Dude, Carrion, yes. Like everyone in chat, like tell me your favorite character that didn't get drafted because there's a list.
Yeah,
why did
mine's obviously not one, but
why did TC pick Bebop? I don't know, man. I could defend every choice on this list, I think, as a reasonable deck except for Bebop. Like, I guess the answer is Mikasa 4, right?
I will say there is not a chance in hell that we've seen the best Bebop list.
Sure, true.
Sure. It's not being tried.
That's definitely true.
I don't know how much I believe in the ceiling of whatever that is, but like you know, it's not like the MHA1 Shigaraki where people were clearly banging it against the wall and not getting, you know, as far as they felt like they should with it.
Yeah. So it is possible that someone, like if you're like, hey, what's a random cracked deck that someone might figure out? Sure, maybe you pick Bebop. And like in fairness,
all right, so TC got beat up by Ross's Bebop a lot, and that's why it's on there.
Clearly, he's secretly a Forchex Cast fan, and he picked a card that we revealed.
Yeah,
true.
I mean, look, I was saying this probably pre-stream. Like the Pool Flood is relevant for sure, right? He's got a very relevant defensive ability. There's not too many characters that do more on defense. We're talking about Mark Tyner for hacking twice on defense, right? And he hacks one on every move after the first one. It's similarly shaped, right?
Sure.
And plus 3 damage instead of the check boost, and like not getting to play double uniques. Like it's not. He doesn't have the flashiness of Mark Tyner, but I mean, if we think Mark Tyner's a fantastic, super powerful character, then Bebop's like at least okay.
I think Bebop is missing the like. I think the current Tyner lists are doing well, are doing substantial debuild. Like I think that is true if you aren't looking at their symbols or what is going on in the deck. You are just reading the character in a vacuum. Sure. And I don't know what the Bebop deck would be doing. So in fairness, maybe there is something uniquely crazy going on there. But like the evil debuild package that Tyner uses to keep the foundation game low, to keep his Breaker 2 relevant, is probably something that I can't think of what Bebop has a comparable one for. Maybe I'm wrong.
Them.
Huh?
Killing them.
Sure. That might be the thing. You just say plus 3 damage kills them. +1, +3 kills them eventually. No, I don't think there are any choices in the back half I really dislike. I don't think there are any that I'm like, why would you still think this character is good?
I'm surprised that Aaron Yeager going as early as it did.
Did Aaron? Wait, oh wow, it did go.
There's
early.
I think he has a recent result of some kind.
The Aaron Yeager that I played in Buffalo, that deck was sick, and I'm very surprised I beat him.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's character. I kind of write him off, and then I read him again, and it's like, oh wait, this character's kind of got some business.
He's got some symbols for sure, and he's got damage.
Yeah, and he is a mill character in a Bing Bong world that doesn't have to play combined firepower.
I also think it's kind of funny. You can kind of see player personality through a few of these picks. I know Ross like explicitly said when I asked him that like he was like, what are the decks? Because he's subscribed to the belief that like the deck that wins Worlds tends to be a deck that's not necessarily won a previous event. It tends to be something new to the table. And that's what Ross's list feels like. Tyner, Hanji 2, War Chief. These are all decks that like have real power, but haven't shown up recently. Very smart, like I'm angle shooting here, specific wins. Whereas Drew is like, I'm taking the most popular, biggest thing on each section. Like Devil Jin feels like the most popular that was still on the table. Bridget feels like the most popular that was still on the table. Pretty like base. I think these are going to be popular picks.
Sure.
I like some of the players.
As a former Falling Titans fan, how do you feel about War Chief over Zeke 1 over Hanji?
I do not think Hanji is a good deck without 9 Titans, whereas I think War Chief is a better deck without 9 Titans.
Okay, interesting.
There's a reason I'm not playing it anymore, and like if I had gone to Buffalo, I would not have been taking Hanji to Buffalo. I do not think that deck is very good when it is asked to play a late game and cannot reset the board with Unyielding and can't get a bunch of early DR with 9 Titans. It's like she's lost her 2 best tools right now. And she's way worse now that Unyielding is gone. And I already think she was not good in Buffalo.
Interesting. I thought she was. I thought the just the rock throw into Grisha's and then getting Titan pile. I want to call it. I wanted to say it was an F word.
I am notoriously a disbeliever in Titan pile. I think that card was way overrated. I think it was a good I can kill people card. But I think like Hanji was best when she was really doubling down on her defense, not trying to cheat. So like I already was not. That became her only strategy, and I was already cold on that strategy. I think War Chief is the better pick.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it worked out for people. It's always felt like a backswing strategy for me more than a like Rodon is built up and defending himself and holding blocks, and I'm going to play 3 Titan piles at 7 speed, and this is going to work? Question mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, against Rodon, you Falling Titans him to death.
True.
And that's basically the dichotomy, is that Falling Titans kills them early, and the rest of the deck kills people late.
Right. All right. We should probably move on to Act 3, where we're talking about things that didn't get hit or didn't get drafted here. We're getting kind of late.
Yeah, the answer is Carrion is like the biggest one. And that's when everyone's called out.
Yeah.
Like that deck is not only really good, but I would not be surprised if Nate DeWald shows with it.
Mm-hmm.
Irwin 1, right? Like Irwin 1 is still probably a really good deck and has been seeing a lot of conversation recently.
I'm a little surprised not to see Mitch here.
Yeah, Mitchell.
Yeah, Mitch is a big
great
one.
deck.
David calls out that that's like the biggest miss that he saw.
Yeah, Mitch is like was not affected. It probably benefited more than anyone. Well, not more than anyone. Lots of decks benefited from the bans, but like a deck that was still doing massive mutant machine things and didn't want to see unyielding.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and didn't want to get heisted out of the game early. Like,
just one frame. This is like on a tip of my time for a minute. One frame on like what's going on with this in general with the whole draft is like kind of what are some of the constraints on the format. And I think part of the reason we see Ymir go super late, we see Mikasa at the bottom despite a top 8 in Buffalo, is just kind of this assumption that people are going to be getting you dead, and having a Lexel like Ymir is just begging to get murked in uncompetitive games because you just it's just too hard to defend 23 life. Sure. And if that's a frame of how you see the format, then that informs your decisions, makes you say, oh, let's take Peak and Godzilla and Sung Jin Woo and Mikasa and Tyner, obviously, much more highly, as opposed to these sort of higher agency but lower floor decks.
I mean, I'll be honest, that's why I'm very cold on Benny Maru and Bridget right now. I'm actually shocked both of them go in tier 3, because I've been like, these decks are like 19 and 20 health characters without particularly great defensive abilities. Benny's is okay, and Bridget's is good once you start blocking. But I'm just like, man, these decks can like die on turn 2 really easily. Oh, yeah. 7 hand size health hurts. Yeah, like the only deck I would even remotely consider that's 7 hand size health right now is Hanji 2, because I think that deck's -3 damage means she's not a 7 hand size health character. And she does get to like do some fun cheese with Massive Mune Machine by building it face down and kick flipping it, where it gives her some new offense. And Rodon, because it's good fundamentals.
Yeah, I agree with the Rodon pick there. Yeah.
But no, I would not take anyone else. And that's the same reason why Jamie's a good deck on paper. Decent deck on paper.
You play not, you get great attune symbols, and when they almost kill you, they heckin' die.
So you're showing up with not then?
There's a non-zero chance that I'll just like last minute decide to like make my equity even lower and play not, because it's hard to believe more in that deck than I would think of a Peak.
Sure.
But also that deck overperforms every time I play it, so it always does better than I'm imagining it's going to do.
Sure, absolutely. Are there any other big misses that you think should have been?
I don't know about big, but like I certainly would have picked like Annie 2 over a handful of these characters.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's much a small one.
She's correct, but she's also substantially off meta, in part because of, as you were saying, kind of constraints of what's been around the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bunch of ones that I'm like, if someone put in the work and showed up with it, it could do well. I just am not convinced. I'm not aware of any of them that I'd be like, oh yeah, I think there's a really good shot someone showing up with this, besides Terry and Irwin, which feel like that there's a good shot someone shows up with them.
Sure.
Yeah, when I realized that Allura was legal and plays with Hadir really well and does the same Falling Titans Pechazoid thing she could do last year, I was like, oh wow, that's a big one.
I could definitely see Allura having an argument to be on this list.
Yeah, was it David who was really high on Allura in that team? Like, I'm a little surprised he didn't take it.
He was for a while, but I think he's on the camp of like, you can't take a deck that's going to draw to Worlds.
Sure, that's fair.
You need to take a deck that's going to win, and Allura's probably going to draw a lot. That's like one of the arguments also why like Deku goes later, is because Deku can really easily draw games, especially if your opponents are also playing a defensive deck or are not the most experienced enough to spend a lot of time reading cards.
The ultimate combination dopamine hit is just way too big.
I think we can go ahead and just skip over the player choices. I don't feel comfortable being like, I think this player shouldn't have been on the top 6 choices.
Yeah. One thing I kind of want to propose for the final round one tomorrow is like top prospect to make day 2.
I would think that would be more fun for day 2 than it would be to be like who's gonna win. Because also like I think we kind of said it earlier in the stream. There's no one with more than a maybe 20% chance probably of winning.
20 is crazy.
Like honestly, I think 20 is very generous. I think it's going to be like
if you showed me all of the deck lists that everyone was registering, I might say, oh, this guy has an insane read on the field. He's going to be a big favorite compared to what he should be, and then that could conceivably get 20%. That's insane.
Yeah. Like by big favorite, we mean like 12%.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Like we think they'll be at least top 8 before it becomes a crapshoot.
In very long term idea, like one of the reasons I like top 8 rather than top 16 is that in top 8 you have 12% equity. In top 16 you have 6.25. Like even if you make it to day 3, you're still 6.25 base rate. Like that's crazy.
But yeah, so I think we'll skip over the player part. Except for Kevin. Shout out to David for picking Kevin Broberg. The clear favorite to win as a 2-time in UVS era world champ.
Yeah.
But also shame on LT UVS for not picking another 4-check cast member.
That's true. Well. All 4 of us are at day 2. Where's our flowers? Specifically Tim's.
Definitely Tim.
I got name dropped when Eli picked Godzilla in 3rd, and I was like, I was trying to find how to make a joke of like, if you had to draw an over-underline on when they would name drop me, how far into the video would it be? And then also, if you had name drop, how far until they name drop Tim? Tim he like squeaks in at 45 of 47 minutes or something.
I think it is crazy that Tim was not like genuinely on the players thing. And like I think every player could be on this list. Let me be clear. Like I don't want to diss any players. I am past my hater era. I think it's crazy that Tim did not get more conversation for like people who will take some of these more interesting 2, 3, 4 decks and really do well with them. Because that feels very up Tim's alley. And anyone who watches 4-Check Cast, he's talked about that being a thing he is likely going to do, as we have kind of talked about it.
Yeah, I mean, but also like as I was talking about, I imagine everyone on this list not named Kevin are people that they have noticed doing a lot of work.
Sure.
And that is, I mean, unless Kevin's doing a lot of like TTS playtesting behind the scenes that I'm not aware of,
no,
we are not doing a lot of work.
I realized I between being sick a couple times and everything else and whatever, I did not actually go to locals in the month of January. I have not built a deck. I might have made one. I've been intending to make a lot of Mondays, but it either like snows or I have raid overflow. It's been nightmare snows. Like on Friday and Monday are weekly days. Yeah.
We have weeklies twice a week for us. I've missed 4 of them have not really fired because of weather. It's wild.
Yeah, I'm excited to go to locals tomorrow. Hopefully I don't feel like the Walking Dead after work like I did last week.
I feel like there's a video topic at some point or like a stream topic about like the improv skills you develop as a card gamer in the context of card gaming. Like, you know, a lot of the people who are focused, I'm in this boat because I do not think I am a good enough improvisational player at this point in the amount of time I have had playing this game relative to a lot of other people who've had a lot longer. That's not me insulting myself, just acknowledging the time difference. So I feel like I have to rely a lot on preparation. Whereas like players who have been playing for a long time probably have like natural experience of seeing a deck and being able to pick up in 5 minutes what its core loop is and adapting to it very quickly on the fly. That would be a very fun thing to talk about. Like, how does that develop as a player? And how do you start building that skill as a player specifically? Is it just play or is there specific things you could do?
And I think that, it's focus, like it's a skill you develop, right? And you can develop that skill kind of stochastically on accident over time. You can do focused study to try to develop it. But I think it's really just like you're kind of just describing like once you've achieved mastery, you can play, faster, more like in ways that appear effortless to people who don't have the skills necessarily.
Yeah, I think for me it's meta dependent. If it's a meta game where like you absolutely have to prepare for certain things, or you will not beat them, then it's a little harder. If it's a meta like this, I feel like maybe people feel like you really need a lot of special preparation for some of the stuff here, but I don't. And where I just feel like just bring a deck that can fight, just bring a deck that does things that I already like doing, and you'll have a shot. I mean, I don't think I was favored to win any of the events that I've won, right? Like that's just how it works.
Yeah. I think for me, it's like all just vibe check based on the moment. You've all played against me at least once. I just have a good time with y'all.
Yeah.
Like and sometimes it bites me in the ass. Like when I played against Justin, and
I tell so many jokes that you forget to use your once per turn.
I totally I probably lost. I probably would have won that turn. But we had gone to game 3. But still,
the reason why I was a 2-0 instead of a 2-1 in one direction was because I started making we're making jokes the entire time, and you forget to declare your once per turn, move on to the next 4, or resolve the attack, and then go, wait, I didn't declare.
I literally looked at my stage like, all right, here's what I'm going to play. I didn't name my once per turn with overall.
I remember being like, we're at nationals in Top Cut. I can't give it to you. You fully.
Oh, of course not. No, and I wasn't
terrible.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't blame you. I was like, man, I'm a dumbass. Oh well.
Justin is a One Direction fan. Wait, what? What? One Direction
Phil Birch had me sideways for a number of years where I just like couldn't play effectively against him just because of like the table talk and like just having a good time and how chill he is and things like that.
Yeah.
It took me a while before I figured out that like, no, I need to like really buckle down and focus against this guy.
I need to face Phil in day 2 for one of 2 reasons. Either A, he actually plays me and I have a shot to get my last name rights back. Or B, he concedes to avoid it, and I guarantee a win on that game.
Yo.
And knowing Phil, it will be the latter.
3 Fujoshi arc.
All right, so on that wonderful note, I think we're going to go and wrap up here because I have the Muppet Show to watch tonight with family, and we are nearing close to time for that.
Yeah.
There's a new Zenless patch tonight.
Good.
I just have games to play with other people. That's all.
So, as we're going to go and wrap things up, does everyone have channels they want to promote? Anything like that?
Check me out on buildubs.substack.com. I've been writing, and I think I was going to try to write every day this week, and then I talked myself out of hitting publish on Monday, and then I did not publish anything since then. But it's a process, and it's fun to write there. So
yeah, I have an increasingly dated channel. Satona's on YouTube. I'll post something on there again at some point. I'm not sure when. I kind of like missed the boat on some of the stuff I was thinking of doing, so it's kind of just like, when I have an idea that seems good for the time.
I have an even more increasingly dated Twitch channel, Double Mulligan. I will make an announcement when I do intend on doing stuff with it again, but I need tournament season to be over for work because I am busy every weekend until end of February. So I will probably be doing something once that lightens up again.
I'm going to plug something that isn't mine. Everyone, if you haven't seen it yet, go see Iron Lung. But after that,
let's plug the Millionaires movie that already made $21 million.
Yeah, man, indie films, dog. But yeah, also 4Checks Cast at YouTube for our VODs if you missed part of this episode or if you just want to catch up.
Also, just a quick thank y'all. I was checking earlier. Our reveal stream has like 371 views on YouTube or something like that, which is
Biolante's cool.
A crazy amount for our channel. Which is
I told you Godzilla is popular.
That's how many your video essays could have, dude. I'm telling you.
All right.
It's within reach. I'm serious.
On that wonderful note, I'm going to go ahead and send you guys over to a raid. Is Tam still raiding or playing?
Tam is still colting the lamb.
So we will send you over to Tam to go colt some lambs.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Thank you guys for joining us. Guys. See you guys next week. And raid now.